Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a production floor early in the morning. Cold concrete under your boots. Fluorescent lights are flickering on one by one. Machines are waking up slowly. On the wall, clean posters hang in perfect alignment. Lean production, Toyota philosophy, respect for people. Continuous improvement. Everything looks organized. Everything sounds responsible. People clock in, put on gloves, start another shift. Now look closer. A worker hesitates before asking a question. Someone checks the clock before going for a water. Another avoids eye contact with the supervisor. The place feels efficient, but it also feels tight. Now imagine a very different environment. Mud, snow, uneven ground, no smooth floors, no ideal conditions. A heavy truck moves slowly across terrain that does not forgive mistakes. No posters, no slogans, no words about philosophy. Just engineering that must survive. That contrast matters, because philosophy is not what we say when conditions are good. Philosophy is what survives reality. Hello again, my friends. I am Pavlo Lapikov, and this is the Fire Safety Philosophy Podcast. I'm not just an engineer behind a desk. I'm a field engineer and deep down still a fire officer at heart. Tonight we are going to talk about Toyota philosophy, fake lean, and why Tatra quietly exposes the truth about safety. So, when Toyota philosophy is real, it's powerful. At its core, it says something very simple and very human. Respect people, design systems that learn, stop the line when something is wrong. Real lean is not about speed. It's not about pressure. It's about catching small problems early before they become disasters. Toyota understands something fire safety engineers know well. Big failures are built from many small ignored ones. Fire safety works exactly the same way. A blocked exit is not a minor issue. A disabled alarm is not a shortcut. A silenced worker is not efficiency. There are early warnings, and warnings ignored never disappear. They just wait. Toyota created an ending cord for a reason. Anyone can pull it. Production stops. The system listens. Now pause with me here. In your workplace, who can pull the ending cord for safety? Who can say this is unsafe without fear? If the answer is no, lean does not exist. Only control remains, and silence is not order. Silence is stored failure. Alright, let's take a quick break and then we'll jump right back into fire safety philosophy. This podcast is brought to you by Fireheart Fire Safety Marketing Agency. At Fireheart, we help fire safety professionals, companies, and educators share the mission with the world. From bold posters to unforgettable campaigns, we turn safety into culture. Because saving lives isn't just about systems, it's about communication. Learn more at fireheartfsma.com. So, let's back to the show. When I moved to Calgary, I took a job that was meant to be my survival job. At the first interview, they talk constantly about Toyota philosophy. Lean production, culture, respect for people. I believe them. I was excited as an engineer and as a human being. 6 months later, I understood something clearly. When people talk too much about philosophy, sometimes it means there is none. The environment was toxic, the leadership was toxic, people working on the shop floor were controlled, not trusted. Workers were discouraged from stepping away to get water. Bathroom breaks were monitored. Time mattered more than dignity. Toxic and philosophically unstable individuals were kept and protected. Day after day, they poisoned the atmosphere. By the end of the shift, people didn't walk out. They escaped. Nobody wanted to stay. Nobody wanted connection. Nobody wanted to corporate events leadership proudly organized. That wasn't Toyota philosophy. That was fake lean. Fake lean creates fear. Fear kills reporting. And when people stop reporting, safety collapses quietly. Blocked exits remain blocked. Alarms remain disabled. Unsafe shortcuts become normal. Not because people are careless, because culture trained them to stay silent. Fire does not forgive silence. Fire only needs delay. Now let's shift perspective. Tatra trucks were never designed for perfect conditions. They were designed for mud, for snow, for mountains, for mines, for places where help is far away. Tatra philosophy does not ask, how efficient is this on a good day? It asks, will this survive the worst day? That is a safety philosophy, not elegance, not appearance, survival. Tatra uses a backbone tube chassis, one strong spine, everything protected inside, loads distributed evenly, independent suspension, each wheel adapts to uneven reality. Minimal complexity, mechanical honesty, repairable under stress. Philosophically, Tatra accepts what many organizations refuse to accept. Reality is uneven. People make mistakes. Conditions are harsh, so the system must adapt. That's real safety thinking. Design that forgives error. Fire safety should think like Tatra. Strong core systems, simplicity, redundancy, forgiveness for human behavior under stress. If your fire protection strategy only works when people behave perfectly, it will fail 100%. If your safety culture collapses under pressure, it was never safe. Toyota philosophy asks, how do we improve continuously? Tatra philosophy asks, how do we not fail when everything goes wrong? Fire doesn't care which question you asked. Ask simple question. Is your system designed for audits or for emergencies? Does it rely on perfect behavior or resilient design? Can it survive fear, stress, confusion? Culture always tells the truth. Our buildings burn faster, smoke is more toxic, systems are more complex, people are more distracted. We don't need prettier philosophy. We need honest engineering. We need systems that survive reality. Alright, let's take a quick break and then we'll jump right back into fire safety philosophy. This episode is powered by Fireheart Fire Safety Marketing Agency. We believe safety should be seen, heard, and remembered. That's why Fireheart creates powerful campaigns and visuals that don't just meet compliance, they inspire culture. If you ever thought, how do I make people actually care about safety? Fireheart is the answer. Check out fireheartfsma.com. So, let's back to the show. So, my friends, safety has never been about slogans or posters or the quiet belief that a good system will somehow protect us on its own. It has never lived in words like lean or culture or values written on a wall. It has always been about people, the ones standing beside you on the shop floor, the ones working under pressure, fatigue, and fear, the ones who trust that someone, maybe you or me, design a system that will not betray them when reality turns harsh. When we trust philosophy alone without honesty, we are not just making a mistake, we are making a statement about what a human life is worth. Because a philosophy that only works on the good days is not a philosophy, it's a performance. Toyota teaches us the power of learning systems. Tatra reminds us of something even older, survival. That's real safety is built for uneven ground, for human error, for stress, fear, and bad decisions. For the worst day, not the best one. Fake lean asks people to adapt to the system. Real safety demands the system adapt to people. And when we forget that, we don't just lose efficiency, we lose trust, we lose honesty, we lose lives. Because a workplace that looks safe isn't always a protected one, and a system that sounds philosophical isn't always ethical. Control can look like discipline, silence can look like order, compliance can look like safety, but none of them replace responsibility. So can we ever eliminate failure? Probably not. Can we rely on philosophy alone? Never. But every time someone chooses honesty over silence, design over slogans, preparation over performance, we take a step toward real protection. Alright, let's take a quick break and then we'll jump right back into fire safety philosophy. A big thank you to today's sponsor, Fireheart Fire Safety Marketing Agency. Fireheart exists because fire safety messages deserve modern tools. Posters, training programs, creative campaigns. Fireheart makes safety unforgettable. Visit fireheartfsma.com to learn more. So, let's back to the show. This was an episode about Toyota, fake lean, and Tatra. But more than that, it was an episode about truth. Before the next episode, think about this. If your safety depends on words, what happens when words meet reality? And are you prepared for that moment? If today made you think, subscribe, share, and leave a review. That's how this movement grows. I'm Pavlo Lapikov. Care about life? Think beyond compliance. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay ethical, and never trust safety to philosophy that haven't been tested by reality. Bye bye.